So my character Tilly is a security guard at the British Museum, and she basically just sits in the booth for like years, maybe. In the monologue it's been like 3 years, and she doesn't really get many customers come to her gate. She's just kind of usually chatting to the phone on her boyfriend and stuff. And yeah, but on this particular night, she does get a lot of action. First of all, it was pretty awesome to do scenes with Ben Stiller. That was like one of my main motivations to wanting to be in the movie, because the ensemble was like so great. But to work with Ben as well was awesome. So it was cool. With our scenes, we really just kind of let it rip a bit. We were doing a scene last night we're doing like 10-minute takes, but in the movie it'll probably be like 2 minutes. But we just keep riffing off each other, and it's really cool. There's Ben Stiller as Larry and Ben Stiller as La. So when we're shooting those scenes, we shoot them twice, with Ben playing the different characters, which is kind of cool, yeah. So sometimes I'm talking to the stunt double in the scene, and sometimes it's with Ben, depending on what he's dressed as. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of like 2 chances to do the scene good. So La is one of the cavemen who, at first I think he's pretty filthy, but then when I get to know him a bit better, I feel like he's a really good listener, and there could be some magic there. The guys have got to figure out what's wrong with the tablet, so they got to break into the British Museum, and that's when they meet this one. For family movies, they're so funny, and also the cast that they have, like Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Robin Williams, Ricky Gervais, you're not really going to get funnier than that kind of ensemble. So I was really excited to join for this 3rd installment. Sean is fantastic. I love his energy. To me, he reminds me a lot of Ben Stiller, actually, because they're both kind of like, yeah, all right, let's do it. And he was just playing music downstairs during the take to kind of get us all in the right vibe for the scene, which is really cool. And what I love about Sean is he just encourages you to just go wherever and do whatever in the scenes. And we've been improvising a lot. And then he knows which bits are the funny bits. And he's got such a good eye and ear for where the funniness is in the scenes. But he gives us the freedom to just jump in and kind of feel out the characters. It feels good because the first 2 movies, Night at the Museum 1 and 2, were all set in America. And then in this one, I feel like it's so awesome that they got on a plane, come to London, and you meet characters like my character, which adds a whole fresh new element, I think. London was pretty awesome. It was freezing, as is Vancouver right now. But it was so good to go to the museum in London and just be there with these massive, thick columns, and to be outside with Ben. And yeah, it was really awesome. It made it feel really authentic that we actually did travel there and film in London. I think I met with the director, Sean, and I just kind of had a feel that she's kind of a girl from the London suburbs, but she's a little bit street as well, and she likes to chit chat. So that was the kind of feel that we went for with the character. No, she wishes she had some man come and rob the museum and she could try to but unfortunately she hasn't really had any action. She's just sitting there looking for someone to talk to. Maybe his dreadlocks. Although if you look closely in those dreadlocks, there's bits of fish and weird bones and stuff in that. It's a bit gross, a bit grotty. But I think she likes his strength, his kind of animalistic attitudes. Well, La's good because La doesn't really say anything back, so you can just keep chatting. He's not going to interrupt any of your lines, really. But I think maybe I liked working opposite Larry the best because, he could say things back to me, and yeah, we could do runs on little riffs and stuff. Maybe like in a cave, and like Tilly's hungry, so he can go out and club something for dinner, bring it back, have a nice fire. I think that could be a pretty nice date. I just think like everyone's been to a museum, and when you're a kid, you got to go for school, and often you're like, oh, what's this going to be? But then like the museum is like pretty cool, and I think it's just such a good concept that at nighttime the museum comes alive and all the creatures have life in them and it's all magical, and I think that's such a cool concept that people have been really relating to, obviously from the success of the first two. Dan is a lovely guy. We went out to dinner in London, and yeah, I think a very good choice to play Lancelot. Poor guy, had to wear all the heavy armour and ride a horse. I couldn't do it. We got a man on a horse, a monkey, comedy actors. It's probably going to be a pretty good movie. I have had a little run-in already. Well, Dexter and I shared a trailer in London. Was it that clean? Not on his side. And then, I mean, a lot of people love Dexter. Has been in a lot of movies, you know, pretty famous. A lot of people are getting their photo with the monkey. And I didn't want to get a photo when I was in my uniform because, like, I have to respect this uniform. But at the end of my scene, I asked, would it be okay if I had a picture with the monkey? And the security guard for the monkey said no. It had to prepare for its next scene. So it was in the zone. Yeah, but maybe tonight I'll get lucky and I'll get to have a photo with Dexter. Like maybe sitting on my shoulder and maybe we both go like that, something like that. I was crying. Other people like, but Rebel, she's kind of a famous actress, like, you should let her take a photo with the monkey, but the security guard was like, no, she's, you know, she's preparing. And I said, well, what lines of dialogue does the monkey have? None, by my count. I did actually think that when I read the script, and I thought, oh, they could do a whole other movie with me as the museum guard, more things coming to life in the British Museum. It could be like pretty good. Yeah. I've loved working with Sean and the whole team on Night at the Museum. It's just, yeah, it's really, really fun, even though we're freezing our nips off, but it is really, really, really fun. I mean, my cameo, I think that's a pretty big plus. No. I think for a family movie, I mean, this movie is so funny and such a great concept, and yeah, so awesome.